What's up everybody? My name's Chris. I am the Casual Flipper. I'm a reseller on Amazon and eBay. I'm super excited for today's video because we're going to dive into the tools that I use to sell on Amazon FBA. So these are everything from the Amazon Seller app to Scotty, so that's kind of the programs, and Turbolister on the computer, to the Bluetooth scanner that I use, to what I use to weigh my boxes. I'm just going to go through this list of everything you need to get started, and then some other things that are more luxury items just to make you a little bit more efficient. So I'm going to let this intro roll and then we'll get into the episode. So the first thing I want to talk about is a Bluetooth scanner. So a Bluetooth scanner is obviously a Bluetooth device that pairs to your phone via Bluetooth. The benefit of this is when you're scanning in a third-party app like Scotty, you can just turn on the scanner like so. You listen for the beep, there it is. It just paired to my device. And let me check if this has messed anything up. It doesn't appear that it has, so we can keep rolling. What this will do is you'll click this button here, boom, you see that, and it will read the barcode for you. So this is going to save you from having to flip over each and every book, turn on the camera and scan. Not only that, but it helps save battery, which is always an issue for me when I'm out scanning. And the other benefit of using a device like this is when I use Turbolister on the computer, which is the software that I use to list my products, is I can plug this in via USB and I can actually just scan the barcodes that way and it will uplist them to the program, which just makes that a lot easier as well. Otherwise, you would actually have to type in each UPC manually, which you definitely wouldn't want to do. And then the very next thing that I would say next to the Bluetooth scanner that is a must for me is these guys. So these are Airpods. You don't need Airpods, just any kind of Bluetooth speaker, Bluetooth headphones, my mistake. Anything Bluetooth or even wired, it doesn't matter, just a pair of headphones. I like these because then I can accept phone calls and texts and stuff like that, because one of the things that actually happens when you pair your Bluetooth scanner to your phone is it no longer allows the device to bring up the keyboard. So when I'm wearing these, I can still talk to Siri and she can send text for me and stuff like that. So the real benefit of wearing something like this, other than those kind of luxury features, is the simple fact that I have triggers set up in my Scotty app, which is the third-party scanner for Amazon, and it makes a noise relative if it's a buy or a decline. So I don't even really need to look at my phone when I'm sourcing books. I trust my triggers enough at this point that I'm pretty sure it's fairly accurate, but I always typically will actually place my phone somewhere where I can have it in sight, so because really Scotty is a guide and not necessarily the be-all end-all, but it definitely makes it a little more fast and efficient if you can put a lot of trust in those triggers, put these guys in, and just start scanning. So I definitely would recommend a pair of Bluetooth headphones or a wire, depending on your budget. And the last thing when you're outsourcing you're going to want is the Amazon Seller app or Scotty. So these are two apps that you can use when you're out in the field. The Amazon Seller app is just a native seller's app that you would have if you are on Amazon, and if you're not, when you sign up, you download, you can log in and you can kind of see your dashboard and you can see your inventory, and then up in the corner there's a little camera button that you click that, you can scan barcodes and it'll show you that listing. Now there's all kinds of third-party programs to make this a little more efficient. The one I use is Scotty, and it just connects to that app, but they just have a little bit more of an easier and more efficient way of scanning, because you can set up triggers. If it's within this certain sales rank and sells this much, tell me to buy it, and if it doesn't, tell me not to buy it. Stuff like that. So just convenience features. So Scotty and Seller's app are the two apps I use out in the field every day. And then dependent on whether you're doing books or you're doing grocery or tours or whatever, there's going to be some prep involved. So there's a few things that I use for that as well. If I'm prepping books, what I always need for sure is some kind of rag like this and Glue Gun. This is going to help you get rid of stickers and dirt and grime and all stuff like that. The other thing that you really must have is a Scotty Tool, I believe they call it. These ship from the US, $12 or $15, which is kind of a lot for what it is, really, but it's a must-have. It's not a real high cost to pay, really, for the purpose of it. So I definitely recommend the cloth, the glue gun and getting yourself a Scotty Tool. And when you do buy this, make sure you buy the one that comes with the plastic ones as well. It's like a bundle. It's like 3 plastic and then the metal, because the plastic are very good on books that look fragile. Because this is very sharp, you can easily puncture a book with this. So be aware of that. And once you have everything prepped, cleaned, labels off, then we got to move to the next part of the process, which is your boxes and your scale and measuring tape. So you're going to have to measure each and every box. My boxes are typically all the same size now, so I don't really need this. But when you're first starting, some kind of measuring tool is going to be very helpful. This is just something I had, so that's what I use if I need it. The next thing I got that is just so nice to have is something like this. I got this at Walmart, I believe, or maybe even the dollar store, who knows. But when I print my waybills, and disclaimer, I know there's a lot of different ways to print labels. I got a high efficiency printer. I'm just printing them on ink. I buy ink like once or twice a year and away I go, because it's just a monochrome high efficiency printer. That's just the route I am now. I realize you can print them on like a larger dymo and stuff like that, but for now I'm just using my printer, and then I cut it with this, because what you have to do is separate the waybill from the FBA slip. So I use this tool and I cut it, which is like, this is very clutch, very nice to have. And then you obviously have to weigh all your boxes, so you're going to need to pick up a decent scale. Don't make the mistake that I made when I first got in. I bought this little baby thing. Nice to have for smaller stuff, but you're going to need a good size, reliable scale to weigh your boxes. And I guess before I end this, just the one last thing I wanted to mention as well is I've gone through different websites and just looked at U-Haul, Home Depot, and Uline for boxes, because you're going to need a lot of boxes. And like what I've done in the past is I've gone to retail stores like Superstore, Walmart, whatever, and just try to take their boxes when they're putting stuff away, which was fine. But a lot of time the boxes I was getting that way were quite large, which is good, but when you're shipping books, they get quite heavy. And Amazon recently told me that I can't ship anything over a certain weight, so I had to make my boxes smaller. So what I found is, I have them over here, U-Haul. They're small boxes, like the perfect size. They're like $1.19 each, which is actually a very good cost compared to what I can get elsewhere. So if you're after boxes, I can just save you some legwork. U-Haul small boxes are great for books. And then if you need larger ones, the strategy, like I mentioned, going to like Costco or Superstore when they're putting stuff out, you can actually get a lot of boxes that way. I mean, it's a little bit more work, but they are free this way. Otherwise, Uline is really great for larger boxes at a great price as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something here if you're just starting about the equipment that you need to get started on Amazon. Some of it's necessary, some of it's not, but it's all very helpful in the end. Like, subscribe, comment. Remember guys, keep crushing it and stay real.